You know, a mother's work is never done, you guys. My daughter is home sick. She came home sick from school yesterday, talking about how she had a sore throat and wasn't feeling great. So we went and got her from school. And this morning, she didn't feel any better. So we kept her home, took her to the doctor. At the time, she did not have a fever in the middle of the day, but now she does. So there's that. She she is really not doing great. There's that. I took her temperature a few hours ago, around 3 o'clock. It was 102.9. Yeah. So we did all the things, medicated, all the things, all the things, all the things, and we got her fever down with the medication, everything that we've gotten into her. She's at 99.1, which is still a bit high for her, but I'll take that over 103. So why am I telling you all this? Because you probably don't care, right? Well, you care, but what does it have to do with tonight's project? Well, what that has to do with tonight's project is I will not be live for a full 2 hours tonight. In addition to my daughter being sick, my husband is not home because he went to go pick up my mother-in-law, who has been staying with my sister-in-law for a while. And it's also his birthday today, but he's not home. So there's that. Yeah, so I'll probably be live for about an hour or so, and we'll just get right into the project. Before we do, we have a couple of announcements for everyone. I can hear Becca be right back. I'm here. Oh, I think she says I can hear. I'll be right back. Okay, Cheryl, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so I see Ian in the chat saying, Becca, don't get sick before QuiltCon. No. I will not be doing that. But also at the same time, that's my daughter. And I have to take care of her because she's my kid. So at the end of the day, if I end up getting sick, so sick that I can't go, then that's just what it is. But I think I'll be okay. I'm just making sure to wash my hands after I work with her and trying to stay out of her breathing distance as much as possible. Right now, she's just kind of chilling on the couch. Okay, so there was an announcement that went out today that maybe some of you saw and maybe some of you didn't. I think I was supposed to put out a recorded video on social media, and guess what I did not do because life. I just I didn't have the time to do it. So I'm going to tell you here. In November 2027, so 16, 18 months from now, something like that, year and a half, Ian, Chris from Rose City Originals, and I will be hosting a 10-night, I think it's 10-night, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, cruise out of Sydney, Australia into New Zealand. And we are working with some other special guests behind the scene to help bring some extra value to this to the cruise. So if you guys are interested in going to Australia or New Zealand, and you're interested in a cruise like that, I know the flight is mega long, and I know they can be a little pricey. So just for like I acknowledge all of that. But if that is something that you are interested in, I think we are the only people that have tackled or are tackling a quilting cruise around the Australia area. So if that's a bucket list for you, you've got a year and a half to save up for it. And I will tell you the price for it is very competitive to what we were charging for Alaska. I will have a page on my website in the next couple, maybe the next week or so, hopefully over the weekend. I will have a page on the website with all of the details. But until then, I think Ian might have some stuff on his page, on his website, so he can absolutely drop the link to his website in there. You guys can pick out all the information that you want. Just let the guys know if you do book that I referred you, or if you got it from Ian, make sure you put his name down, or if Chris referred you, whoever it was, just make sure you put that down. We don't get any extra credit for it. It's just nice to know how many people heard, like where everybody was. So, all right. That is the big announcement for tonight. Alicia will not be in the chat tonight. She's got to take care of some fun stuff. Mary is here though, and you can see Ian is already out there. And Tiffany, I saw you, Tiffy. Tiffany was in the chat just a second ago, so she's here as well. And in less than a week, all four of us, Ian, Tiffany, Mary, and I, will be together for the first time in 2 years. Wow. I mean, Tiffany, Ian, and I were together in Phoenix. Mary, Ian, and I were together for other things. Mary and I were together here. Ian and I are always together. But it'll be the first time that all four of us have been able to get together since QuiltCon in Raleigh 2 years ago. And I am really, really excited. Tiffany flies in on Tuesday. She will arrive in the DC area just at the end of my workday. So I will be picking her up Tuesday on my way home from work. And then we will pack up Wednesday morning-ish, probably. Volume just dropped. My volume looks good on my end. Wednesday mid-morning, probably early afternoon, around 11 or 12, we'll be heading down to Raleigh. So we'll be pulling in to Raleigh sometime around, I think it's about a 4.5 hour drive. So we should be pulling into Raleigh sometime around like 3 or 4, depending on how we stop. So I want to show you, because the thing is to give away stickers at QuiltCon, and I do have plenty of these. I do have lots and lots and lots of these. So I will, after QuiltCon, honor requests for these. If you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to my P.O. box, I will put a sticker, if I have any extra, which I'm pretty sure I will, in the envelope and get it back to you. So just like we did that last year, but these are only going to be available after I get back from QuiltCon, because people that are physically at QuiltCon get these first. Let me show you what the sticker looks like this year. So I decided, oh, hi, that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, that's great. I don't know if the overhead's working. That is the first time that that's happened in a while. Let's just go take a little look-see. We're gonna do camera switcher. Looks like it's not even powered on. So, and we'll unplug it and plug it back in. Sometimes that happens. Look, Becca and Becca. There we go. There we go. All right. So I wanted this year to give everybody a little Ruby. So I have made Ruby stickers. It is a cartoon version of my 1951 Singer 301 custom painted red. And I didn't have time to get samples back because I waited until the last minute like a goof. But I wanted to make sure that they were a good size. And so I don't know if you can tell, but these are 4 inches, because I wanted you to see the logo that I put on the bottom. So that is the sticker. And then when I got it in person, I was like, holy cow, that's a mega sticker. And so I did order another set of the baby stickers. So yeah, these are 2 inches. I probably should have gone in between and got the 3-inch. That probably would have been better, but that's what I've got. I've got plenty to go around. I hope I see you at QuiltCon. Don't forget, if you see me or if you hear me laughing, find me and come up and just ask for your sticker, and I will gladly hand you one. And the baby ones are a bonus. So if you want a mama and a baby, I will be happy to do that. If you just want one or the other, I'm happy to do that as well. So, all right, those are my stickers for this year. Mary has a sticker as well, but she has a very limited amount of those. Hers will be, it's a surprise, but it is crafty and it is a panda and it includes a Bernina. I don't need to tell you anymore. And Alicia will even have a sticker as well, but both of them only have 100 apiece. And so if you want one of their stickers, you need to literally beeline for them. Alicia will not be at the show until Friday. Mary will be there Thursday. So we'll be there. Alicia will be there Thursday, or I'm sorry, Friday and Saturday only. And then Mary and I will be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anne Marie is asking, can we send you stamped self-addressed envelope for stickers this year? Yes, absolutely. Please send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to my P.O. box. And then after QuiltCon, I will be happy to put stickers in the mail. If I have both, I will give you both, the baby and the mama. If I only have one of them left, then I will give you one of those. And if I'm out, I'll put a Post-it note in there and say, sorry, I ran out, with a little smiley face. But I don't think I'll run out. I bought enough that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be good. All right. I'm ready to get started on this week's project. So for those of you, I got to bring, oh, it's not even, you know what? This silly thing does not, I think my USB hub went a little wonky. So we're just going to do the top camera today. It'll just be easier. So the blocks that we're going to be making today look like this. This is for the Cozy Cabins pattern from Modernly Morgan. I have got all of my pieces cut out, and I've even made one of these blocks. And the way this pattern goes together is the secondary design kind of comes together when you put the blocks together. So this actually ends up being turned like this, and it's one quadrant of those bigger blocks. I'm going to demonstrate what it's like to put 3 together so that I can finish one of the blocks. I've already got one quadrant, so we're going to do the other 3 quadrants, and then we're going to get one big block put together, and then we'll probably call it an evening at that point. There will not be any show and tell on Facebook tonight. Sorry, guys. I really want to make sure that I'm out there for my daughter, but we will pick that up when we come back. Don't forget, I will not be live next week because I will be at QuiltCon. However, the week after that, so 2 weeks from tonight, I will be live wrapping up this project, but also Tiffany, Ian, and Mary are all going to be here with me. So that is going to be a hoot and a holler. Make sure to tune in that Friday night. All right, so the way this goes together, when you did all of your cutting, the pattern writer, Morgan, told you to group everything into A, B, C, or D fabrics. And it was a little bit of a brain warp at first because fabric A is actually 2 different sizes from all of our fat quarters that we cut. This is A and this is A. And it kind of makes sense when you start to think about it. These bigger ones are going to be used to make half square triangle units. They're going to square up to this size. So you're going to end up with the A half square triangle unit and then the A regular square. Then in the strip world, we've got all of these, and she wanted you to pair the first 2, the second 2, and then the last 2 sizes of the strips into B, C, and D, because this is round 1, round 2, and then the other one is round 3. So just kind of keep all that in mind as we're going through this. It can be a little confusing, but I promise you it's worth it in the end. I'm going to try to rotate out. Karen, yes, send me an email at info@sewbecca.com. She's saying, can I send you an email regarding this pattern? I have it and I have questions. Thank you. Yes, feel free to send me an email and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. So I want to try to have this look a little patchworky. So for this block, I've got 4 colors represented. I want to make sure that I'm rotating my colors out. So I already did blue in the middle. So for the next one, I'm thinking I'm going to do pink in the middle. And I'm even going to try and get a different print. So we're going to go with the Argyle pink. And I will get the small Argyle pink from the small one, just so I'm using the same print. Then I'm also going to go into my backgrounds, and I'm going to find the background square that's the same size as that large square. I'll put those right sides together. And I'll show you how to do this if you were a newbie. If you were a beginner, this is how I would recommend you make your half square triangle units, although I have been using my diagonal seam tape on my machine. So I'm going to take the wrong side of one of my fabrics. I'll lay a ruler down so that it's going from one corner to the other. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line from those corners. Then I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch just a little bit less than 1/4 inch on either side of that line. And I know you can't see the this camera. I'll see if I can get that up and running in just a couple minutes. Might be an easy fix. But at least you have the top camera. And also, can we talk about how my face is getting cut off too? Like, I'd like to fix that, please. I'm having all sorts of camera difficulties. There we go. Let me just make sure that my camera is not off to the side. There we go. And so when I'm sitting over, okay, good, good, good. And then while I'm at it, let me just go to the 3 cam. I'm going to take a look at this. And we're going to do, oh, it's not even in there. It's not even in there. It must have gotten unplugged. Okay, we're just going to deal with the top-down camera today, guys. Sorry. I'm not spending time on the live stream troubleshooting technology. You didn't come here to see that. You came here to see the sewing. All right, once I've sewn my seams on either side of that line, then I'm just going to take my ruler and slice right through those 2 lines on the line that I drew, and I will separate that. Now for the other block that I made, I actually have been taking the time to press the seams open to get a flatter block just because I'm feeling a little finicky lately. So that's what I'm going to do here. I don't know what the pattern tells you to do, but this is just what I'm choosing to do. As I mentioned in my video that popped up this week, patterns are just a starting off point. They are rules meant to be broken. Free Spirit says, Ruby has her hum going. She sounds very efficient. She is, and it is time for her to get a grease and an oil and a needle change and some bobbins wound and all that other stuff. So it is on the docket for me to do this 3-day weekend. Once these are pieced, then we're going to square them up, and I'll show you how I square up my half square triangle units. I lay it down on a flat surface so I can see the line that's separating those 2 fabrics. Then I grab a ruler. For this one, I'm using a 3.5-inch ruler because it's bigger than the size I'm going to square down to. On this square ruler, there is a line that goes 45 degrees. It actually goes both ways on this. So I'm going to find that 45-degree line, and I'm going to lay it right on top of the seam where those 2 fabrics meet. And I'm also going to look for the size that I want to square this to and make sure that the block is at least that big. And then I will clean off on the right and then the top. I probably need to change my rotary blade when I'm doing all of the things this weekend too. I'll flip it around and I'll put the edges that I just cleaned up on the measurement that I'm squaring to. Make sure that the 45-degree line is on top of that seam, and then we'll have a nicely cleaned HST. So we'll do that again on this one. Danielle, no, the Zoom will be open. There is a VIP Zoom this weekend. You are welcome to pop in there. I will tell you, depending on what's going on with my family, I may or may not be in there for some or all of it. So feel free to pop in and hang out with each other, but there might be a chance that I need to be taking care of my daughter. So still open. My participation may be limited. Vicky says, my puppy loves the sound of Ruby. I love the sound of Ruby. All right, once I have my HSTs put together, I'm going to set these out of the way because I am done with them for right now, if you believe that. I need to lay out the block, and this is where things start to get a little finicky because this does not go together like a traditional log cabin block. It actually goes together a little different. And instead of following the pattern the way it's telling you to put it together, you certainly can if you want to. I just did this visually because I'm more of a visual person. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out for reference. We're going to build our block out so that it's exactly like this. we take the square of our fabric A and put it in the upper right corner. And then we take our two HSTs and we lay them out so that the fabric is touching the like fabric. Then we're going to go into our background. We're going to get this fabric, and you'll notice this is not the size that we did to make the HST. It's the one size down. I wish I could tell you what letter it was, but it's hard to tell you. You'll notice this is bigger than this one. That's okay. If you look over here, none of these points are actually matching, so you don't have to worry too much about any of your seams pressing or losing points. It's just going to come together. That is by design. So to finish this out, she's got the bigger of the two rectangles laid here and then laid here. And then looking in here, this is where we start to do the round, right? We're going to do, we already did pink, so we're going to rotate through. I'm going to grab green. I'll go with the plus. And then for the next one, I think I'm going to go with yellow. And I just got to pick out the print that I want to use. We're going to do let's do the leaf because it's right there. And then we'll grab the blue from the last pile, which is the biggest one. As I'm doing this, I have all of my color families kind of chunked together in a pile. So when I'm done picking those up, I kind of just rotate that chunk down to the bottom. So let's see what, oh, I don't have the flowering. Oh, this one's pretty full. Let's do that one. I love that one. Okay, there we go. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about how they loved the Quilt Police video. Thank you so much. Ian and I had a blast putting that together. We also need two more background pieces to kind of finish off that second layer. So I'm going to pull these out too. I'm going to lay this out the way it's going to go together. So the big piece from round one is on the left and the small piece is on the bottom here. This is on the right. This one's on the bottom. And then these, it's always the longer one on the side and the shorter one on the bottom. These are going to be finished off with this little piece. And right now it looks like a mess because nothing's lining up since we don't have any of our seams taken. So the way I'm going to start this is just by attaching these pieces together just so that they're one piece and they're out of the way, and then I'll focus on the center of the block. Now when I'm doing this, you can press the seam underneath the darker fabric if you wish. I'm actually going to press it open because I can. Lori says, I thought the Quilt Police video was a hoot. Thanks for your content. Have fun at QuiltCon. And I like your haircut. Thank you. All right. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to press this seam open just to get it really nice and flat. And then the smaller of the two, remember, goes on the bottom, and then the larger of the two goes off on the side. We always want to make sure that the white is going up towards the top. Now, this is where things can get a little tricky. You can't sew this like a 4-patch because then you're going to have some partial seams. There are some partial seams, and then you're going to have some Y seams and some other things. But these three pieces together should equal the same width of this, and these pieces together should equal this size. So what I actually like to do is piece these together, and then put them together to start. actually no, piece these together. And I'm going to press all the seams open as I go, but you do what works for you. Mary, I saw your message. We can talk about that later. I actually think for this one, if you just pressed it over towards this square, you probably have less bulk than pressing it open, but I've already started pressing open, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. All right, those are together. And now I'm going to join these together. I'm going to save my thread and just start doing most of my piecing through chain piecing. So I'm going to pick these up and join this together. This will save me from sewing onto a leader and ender, because technically my ender or leader is the next seam that I need to take anyway. It can be a little bit more efficient to sew like this. I will press this seam open. I just have to remember where the pieces go back down when I lay it out. This is definitely a pattern where I feel like there is benefit to laying it out before you start sewing it together. Oh, Bobby, thank you so much for the $10 tip. She said, I hope you and your family are doing well. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. All right, this goes up here. I'm gonna have to sew onto an ender. That's okay. I was hoping to not do that very much, but once out of all those seams is not bad. I'm going to use my Acorn Easy Press pen to get these seams to lay a bit flatter. So I'm just drawing a line of starch on the back side of these seams. And then I'm going to put the hot iron on it. And depending on how things are acting, I may even do the clapper. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that every step of the way things are exactly the size they need to be, so the block is not as wobbly as it could be. I am definitely being a little extra here, but you don't have to be. All right, now that I've got those joined, I'm going to pick this piece up and bring it in. And from this point out, I could probably just start pressing out away from the center instead of pressing the seam open. So just to kind of demonstrate, we're just going to finger press that there. Then I'm going to bring this in, put it right sides together. There are no points here to match up. You see on this block, we actually have separation between where this point is and where this is. That is exactly how it is supposed to be. But if you did everything correctly, this seam here should line up with this seam here, and both pieces should be exactly the same width. after the live stream this weekend, while I'm in my sewing room sewing, hey Deborah, how are you? I'm going to likely just turn this into a chain piecing marathon. I will make all of my HSTs and then I will join all of my HSTs to the same piece. I'll do that for every single one of my blocks, all the way through. There are going to be 36 blocks in the quilt that I'm making because I'm making the throw size. So I'll have lots of things to do. Definitely can set aside an hour or so to just work on each step of this. My goal is that when we come back together on the last Friday of February, I want to have all of my quadrants built, and I want to be able to start putting those together into bigger blocks and then put the blocks together into the quilt. Oh, looks like somebody else sent a super chat. Let's see. Susie Rose Finley. Thank you so much, Susie. I appreciate that tip. All right, now I'm going to just, as you can see, what I'm doing here is as I'm building this out, there's only one piece that's going to fit. This one is not fitting yet. So I'm going to take the piece that is going to fit, attach that. So it's always going to be bottom, side, bottom, side, bottom. You know, see where I'm going? The middle part is the part that's the most finicky just because of how it goes together. But if you lay it out and work with it visually, it is a lot easier. Okay, now I'll bring this over. Ian or Becca, for the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt, I did some of mine on my live today, and someone asked me if they signed up for it today, will Clue 1 be shipped out before Clue 2? I don't know. That's an Ian question. Jen is here. She says, hi, getting caught up a little late, but do you think you could do this pattern with a layer cake if you don't mind it a little more scrappy? How big is this piece? All of the pieces except for this one are less than 10 inches. This one's bigger than 10 inches. So no, I would say no. I mean, you could probably use some of the layer cake. Hey Zoe, are you okay? Okay guys, I gotta go. What's up? No, what's up? Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, we are good. She just needed some cough drops. All right. Where was I? Ah, yes, right here. So now I'm going to take this, and my next step is to attach the bottom piece here. And then once that's there, this piece for the side should fit perfectly. M. Jean says, I love the Quilt Police, and I have to say the bloopers and blunders were so funny. It was worth watching. Thank you for a great laugh. You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching. We had a lot of fun with that one. There were a few takes that we had to do a couple of times because I couldn't stop laughing. I don't know if I'm going to make it through 4 of these just with Zoe being sick. So I will, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to go spend time with my daughter and make sure that she's feeling a bit better. I really feel a little guilty being in here doing all of this when she's sick on the couch in the other room, especially with Jason at home. If Jason were home, it'd be a different story, but he's not. And I feel like where I need to be right now is with my daughter. So I'm going to put this last seam on here. I'm going to press out the block, and then I'm going to probably call it quits. But if there are any content creators out here who would like to carry the party forward, let me know in the chat, and I will be happy to redirect everybody over to your channel so that you can host the rest of Friday Night Live. Just looking to see if anybody's going to drop it in the chat that they want to host the rest of a live stream on their channel. You guys are all understanding. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. But I did show you how to put the block together, which is definitely, that was the point of this. So let me show you really quick how this is going to start going together. You're going to make a whole bunch of blocks that look just like this, make it as scrappy or as coordinated as you want it to be. And then when you start putting them together, you're going to turn it so that you're making a star block here. So, oh, Siberian Wind is live. Great. I'll dump everybody over there. So you can just stay here, and then I don't know if she has it set up, but we will look. Yeah, make sure she drinks lots of fluids. Absolutely. She's been downing water. I've been very, very proud of her for that. Let me look and see if I can see if I am able to redirect over there. Is she live right now? I'm looking. Oh, she sure is. Awesome. She's about to get a whole bunch of people jump in. If I can do this the way I would like to do it. So I'm going to pause that. For those that might not want to wait, I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you can click on that and pop over there. But I am also going to try and go into YouTube, and I'm going to set up this video to redirect and drop over there. Hey, Crystal, I'm doing well. How are you? Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not doing well. My daughter is very sick, and I'm going to go spend the rest of the evening with her. So I'm getting ready to end the live stream a bit earlier than normal. But it's nice to see you. Live now. Let me see if she's allowing redirects. Sometimes subscribers don't allow that, and so I can't drop people over there. Redirect, add. I'm going to put here. Oh, she's allowing it. Awesome. All right. So there we go. I have set up the redirect. I've also put the link in the chat. Thank you guys for thinking about and praying for my daughter and all that other stuff. I really appreciate it. Sounds like she is uprooting around, so it is time for me to go. You guys go have fun at the Siberian Wind. Tell her I said hey. I hope you guys continue to enjoy each other's company, use her chat to hang out with one another, and give her a little boost too. So I'll see you guys all in 2 weeks. I have a tutorial video that will drop on Tuesday. My next live stream will be 2 weeks from tonight with Ian, Mary, and Tiffany. So see y'all later. Bye, friends.